What's up? What's up, Reds Nation? And I mean every single one of you beautiful Forest fanatics out there. Because what I'm about to tell you is going to absolutely blow your minds. Something absolutely massive is happening at the City Ground right now, and I'm not talking about just one signing. I'm talking about a complete transformation that has Evangelos Marinakis throwing money around like it's confetti at a European Cup final. What's up? What's up, Reds Nation? And I mean every single one of you beautiful Forest fanatics out there. Because what I'm about to tell you is going to absolutely blow your minds. Something absolutely massive is happening at the City Ground right now, and I'm not talking about just one signing. I'm talking about a complete transformation that has Evangelos Marinakis throwing money around like it's confetti at a European Cup final. Can you feel that electricity in the air? That's the sound of ambition. That's the sound of a club that's not just satisfied with 7th place in Europa League football. Oh no, no, no. This is the sound of a club that wants to shake the very foundations of the Premier League. And what I've discovered in the last 24 hours is going to make you question everything you thought you knew about our transfer strategy. Picture this, a Swiss wizard who can play positions you didn't even know existed. A record-breaking signing that Chelsea are literally getting paid for us to take. A contract situation so messy it's got Nuno pulling his hair out, a Manchester City legend admitting he made a mistake, and a French striker so good that Brentford and Newcastle are crying into their cornflakes right now. But here's the thing that's really got me buzzing, and I want you to think about this for a second. When was the last time you saw this level of ambition from our beloved Forest? When was the last time we moved with this kind of purpose, this kind of surgical precision in the transfer market? This isn't just random panic buying. This is a masterclass in modern recruitment. Now, before I reveal which players are walking through those Trent side doors, I need something from each and every one of you watching right now. If you're as excited about this Forest revolution as I am, if you believe that this is our moment to show the Premier League what we're really made of, then smash that like button like it's a Crystal Palace player. Subscribe to this channel like your season ticket depends on it, because supporting this channel is supporting the Reds. And most importantly, tell me in the comments, what position do you think we need to strengthen most after these signings? Right then, are you ready for the first bombshell that's going to change everything? You thought you knew about our new Swiss sensation? Because what Dan Doy just revealed will have Nuno Espirito Santo grinning from ear to ear. You thought you knew everything about our £37 million Swiss magician Dan Doy, didn't you? You thought he was just Anthony Elanga's replacement on the right wing, a simple like-for-like swap that would keep us ticking over in Europe. Well, let me tell you something that's going to absolutely revolutionize how you see this signing. Our Swiss international has just dropped a tactical bombshell that has completely changed Nuno's plans for this season. Dan Doy isn't just a right winger, he's a tactical chameleon who can transform our entire defensive strategy. During his time with Switzerland at Euro 2024, when they went toe-to-toe with England, Doy was deployed as a left wing back, and not just any wing back. He was absolutely sensational in that role. Now picture this scenario for a moment. You're Nuno Espirito Santo, you're looking at your squad, and you're thinking about those European nights ahead. You've got Ola Aina, who's proven he can handle the Premier League, but what happens when we're playing twice a week? What happens when injuries hit? What happens when you want to change the game tactically? Well, now you've got Dan Doy, who can seamlessly drop back to left wing back, giving you pace, defensive solidity, and that crucial attacking outlet that modern football demands. But here's where it gets really interesting. Doy himself has been brutally honest about this position. He's admitted that while he can do the job brilliantly, his heart is in those attacking positions where he can hurt teams with his pace and technical ability. Speaking on the Nottingham Forest podcast, Doy revealed, "It was this position I was playing in because the team needed that at that moment." Can you hear that? That's the voice of a player who puts the team first, who understands what sacrifice means, who gets what it means to wear the Garibaldi. But think about what this means for our tactical flexibility. Against the big teams, when we need to be compact and hit them on the counter, Doy can drop back and give us that defensive security. Against teams that are going to sit deep against us, he can push high and wide, stretching the play and creating space for Morgan Gibbs-White and our other creative talents to work their magic. And here's something that's going to make you appreciate this signing even more. Remo Freuler, who knows a thing or two about what it takes to succeed at the City Ground, personally recommended Forest to Doy, the experienced Swiss midfielder. told him to grasp the opportunity with both hands because he knew what kind of special project we're building here. So when you seen TODA lining up against Brentford on Sunday, remember this, you're not just watching a right winger. You're watching a tactical weapon that could be the difference between Europa League football and something even more special. Are you ready for the next revelation that's going to make your jaw drop? Right, Forest family. Hold on to your red scarves because what I'm about to tell you has just redefined what it means to be ambitious in the Premier League. Omari Hutchinson is officially a Nottingham Forest player for a club record £37 million. And this isn't just any signing, this is a statement that echoes from the Trent to the Trent Bridge, and all the way to the boardrooms of Manchester City and Arsenal. Let me paint you a picture of just how incredible this deal is. Omari Hutchinson, the 21-year-old England Under-21 European Championship winner, the player who scored in the final against Germany, the winger who single-handedly dragged Ipswich Town back to the Premier League, is now wearing our famous red. But here's where this story gets absolutely mental. Chelsea, yes Chelsea, are literally paying us to take one of the most promising young talents in English football. You see, when Chelsea sold Hutchinson to Ipswich last summer, they were clever enough to include a 25% sell-on clause. That means every pound we've paid for Hutchinson, Chelsea are getting for £0.5 million of it. They're essentially funding a move that could come back to haunt them for years to come. Can you imagine the conversations happening at Stamford Bridge right now? But let's talk about what Hutchinson brings to our Forest revolution. This isn't just pace down the flanks. This isn't just another young prospect hoping to make it. This is a player who has already proven he can handle pressure at the highest level. Last season, when Ipswich were battling relegation, Hutchinson was their shining light with 3 goals and crucial performances that kept them competitive against teams with budgets 10 times their size. And here's something that's going to get you even more excited. Hutchinson can play anywhere across the front line, right wing, left wing, behind the striker, even as a false 9 when needed. Nuno Espirito Santo isn't just getting a player. He's getting a tactical Swiss Army knife that can adapt to any situation, any formation, any game plan. The timing of this signing is absolutely perfect as well, with Anthony Elanga's departure to Newcastle creating a void on the right flank. Many fans were worried about how we'd maintain that pace and directness that served us so well last season. Well, worry no more. Hutchinson brings that same explosive acceleration, that same ability to beat his man one-on-one, but with an added dimension of technical quality that could take us to the next level. Remember, this is a player who was wanted by Brentford, who had Premier League clubs circling like vultures, but he chose US. He chose the City Ground. He chose the Garibaldi. He chose to be part of this incredible journey we're on. That tells you everything about the pulling power of what Evangelos Marinakis and Nuno are building here. The best part, Hutchinson has already completed his medical and signed his 5-year contract. He might not be able to feature against Brentford on Sunday due to the timing, but you can bet he'll be presented to the City Ground faithful. And what a reception he's going to get. So when you see Hutchinson in Forest Red for the first time, remember this moment, remember this feeling, because you're witnessing history in the making. But we're not done yet. There's a contract situation brewing that could change everything now. Reds, we need to talk about something that's got everyone at the City Ground walking on eggshells. And it's a situation that could define our entire season before a ball has even been kicked. Callum Hudson-Odoi, our brilliant left winger, who's been absolutely sensational since arriving from Chelsea, is in the middle of what insiders are calling a tricky contract situation that has Nuno Espirito Santo genuinely concerned. Picture this nightmare scenario. You're building the most exciting Forest squad in decades. You're bringing in record signings left, right, and center. You're preparing for European nights that will light up the City Ground like never before. And then one of your key players, a player who cost just £3 million and is now worth 10 times that amount, might walk away for absolutely nothing. Hudson-Odoi has just 1 year left on his current deal. And despite talks in Greece earlier this summer between his representatives and Forest officials, there's been no breakthrough, no progress, no sign that he's ready to commit his future to our project. Can you imagine the frustration in the Forest hierarchy right now? This isn't just any player we're talking about here. This is Callum Hudson-Odoi, the man who scored that unforgettable winner against Liverpool at Anfield, the player who terrorized Premier League defenses all last season, the winger who's been linked with Manchester United and Napoli because of his incredible performances in the Garibaldi. And here's what's really eating away at everyone connected with the club. We all know what Hudson-Odoi is capable of. We've seen him at his peak. We've seen him single-handedly change games. We've seen him provide that spark of magic that turns draws into wins and defeats into draws. The thought of losing that quality, that experience, that proven Premier League ability for absolutely nothing is keeping people awake at night. But here's where this situation gets even more complicated. Hudson-Odoi has given every indication that he's happy at the club. He's been present for every single preseason game. He's been talking up the intensity of NUNO'S training sessions. He's been praising the manager's new contract. He's been engaging with teammates on social media. All the signs point to a player who wants to stay. So why can't they get this deal done? The Daily Mail's Tom Calamus has called it exactly what it is: tricky. He's reported that decision time is approaching for both parties, with Forest reluctant to let Hudson-Odoi leave for free next summer, even though they paid just £3 million for him 2 years ago. That's the modern football dilemma in a nutshell. Think about this from Hudson-Odoi's perspective. He's 24 years old. He's in the prime of his career. He's got European football to look forward to. He's working under a manager who clearly believes in him, and he's part of the most exciting Forest project in generations. What more could he want? But from Forest's perspective, they can't afford to take any risks. They've seen what happened with other clubs who let star players run down their contracts. They know that Manchester United and Napoli are circling like vultures, ready to offer him a massive signing-on fee if he becomes a free agent. Ola Aina, who went through his own contract saga before eventually committing to the club, has been trying to help Hudson-Odoi avoid the same prolonged negotiations that nearly saw the Nigerian international leave. But will that advice be enough? The clock is ticking, and every day that passes without a resolution is another day closer to losing one of our most important players for nothing. What do you think Hudson-Odoi should do? But before you answer that, wait until you hear what Pep Guardiola just admitted about our next signing right then. Forest faithful, what I'm about to tell you is going to absolutely vindicate everything Nuno Espirito Santo and this recruitment team have been doing this summer. The master tactician himself, Pep Guardiola, the man who's won everything there is to win in football, has just made an admission about James McAtee that proves we've pulled off one of the signings of the summer. You see, when news broke that we were closing in on James McAtee for up to £30 million, there were whispers, weren't there? There were questions about why Manchester City would let such a talented young player leave. Questions about whether he was good enough for the Premier League. Questions about whether this was just another expensive punt on potential, rather than proven quality. Well, Pep Guardiola has just answered all those questions in the most emphatic way possible. The Spanish genius has admitted that he only allowed James McAtee to leave the Etihad Stadium because the player himself desperately wanted more minutes, more opportunities, more chances to show what he's capable of at the highest level. Think about what that means for a moment. This isn't a player that Manchester City wanted to sell. This isn't a player they've given up on. This isn't someone they think has reached his ceiling. This is a player so good that Pep Guardiola, the man who's developed some of the greatest talents in world football, wanted to keep him at the club. McAtee forced this move through his own determination to play regular football. And where did he choose to go? He chose US. He chose Nottingham Forest. He chose to be part of what we're building here at the City Ground. That tells you everything about the pulling power of European football and the vision that Evangelos Marinakis has laid out. But here's where Pep's admission gets really interesting. McAtee isn't leaving City because he's not good enough. He's leaving because he's too good to be sitting on the bench. This is a player who made 34 appearances for the champions last season. A player who's been trusted in crucial games. A player who Pep himself has praised for his technical ability and football intelligence, and now he's ours. James McAtee, the England under-21 international who can play as a number 8, a number 10, or even out wide when needed, is about to become a Forest player in a deal that includes sell-on clauses and a buyback option. For City, that's how much they rate him. They want to make sure they can bring him back if he fulfills his potential. But here's what's really got me excited about this signing. Nuno Espirito Santo has plans to deploy McAtee in a deeper role than many expected. While everyone assumed he'd be competing with Morgan Gibbs-White for that number 10 position, the manager sees him as someone who can play alongside MGW, creating a dynamic midfield partnership that could terrorize Premier League defenses. Picture this, McAtee spraying passes from deep, finding Hutchinson and Ndoye on the flanks, linking up with Gibbs White in those tight spaces, providing that creative spark that turns good teams into great teams. That's what Pep Guardiola trained him to do. That's what the seasons at Sheffield United taught him. And that's what we're going to see at the City Ground. The best part, McAtee has already agreed personal terms. He's already undergone his medical. And he's ready to make his Forest debut. Manchester City's loss is absolutely our gain. And Pep's admission has just confirmed what we all suspected. We've signed a player who could be special. So when James McAtee pulls on that Forest shirt for the first time, remember what Pep Guardiola said. Remember that this is a player he wanted to keep. And get ready for the final piece of this incredible transfer puzzle. And here we are, Reds Nation. At the moment that completes what might just be the greatest transfer window in Nottingham Forest's modern history. Arnaud Calamuendo, the French striker who's been terrorizing League One defenses, who scored 18 goals last season for Rennes, who was coveted by Brentford and Newcastle United, is about to become the final piece in Nuno Espirito Santo's tactical masterpiece. Let me take you on a journey for a moment. Picture yourself walking through the streets of Nottingham in a few months' time, wearing your Forest scarf with pride, knowing that your team isn't just competing in the Europa League, but absolutely dominating it. Picture Arnaud Calamuendo running at terrified defenders, his pace and power causing chaos in penalty areas across Europe, his goals sending the City Ground into absolute delirium. This isn't just any striker we're talking about here. Calamuendo is a player who's been described by French football experts as a budding superstar. A player who emerged from the prestigious Paris Saint-Germain Academy. A player who's already represented France at youth level and was part of the Olympic squad that reached the final in Paris last summer. But here's what makes this signing so perfect for what Nuno is trying to build. Calamuendo isn't just a central striker. His former manager at Rennes, Habib Beye, discovered that he's absolutely devastating when deployed on the right of a front 3, using his pace to stretch defenses and his technical ability to create chances for others. Can you imagine the tactical flexibility this gives us? Calamuendo leading the line with Hutchinson and Hudson-Odoi flanking him, McAtee pulling the strings from midfield, Ndoye providing pace and versatility wherever needed. That's not just a front line. That's an attacking unit that could tear apart any defense in the Premier League. And the numbers don't lie. 18 goals in League One last season, 34 goals in 93 appearances for Rennes since joining in 2022. A player who's proven he can handle the pressure of European competition, the pressure of big games, the pressure of being the main man when it matters most. But you know what's really got me emotional about this signing? It's what it represents for our beautiful club. 3 years ago, we were fighting for survival in the Championship. 2 years ago, we were praying to avoid relegation from the Premier League. Last season, we finished 7th and qualified for Europe. And now we're breaking transfer records. We're attracting players who were wanted by clubs with twice our budget. We're building something truly special. Calamuendo had offers from other Premier League clubs. He could have stayed in the comfort of League One. He could have waited for a move to a so-called bigger club, but he chose us. He chose the Garibaldi. He chose to be part of this incredible journey we're all on together. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed it. The medical is booked. The 31.5 million euros fee is agreed. And very soon we'll see Arnaud Calamuendo walking through those doors at the City Ground. As a Nottingham Forest player, from Rennes to the banks of the Trent, from League One to the Premier League, this is a signing that changes everything. So here's what I want from every single one of you watching this right now. If this window has got you as excited as it's got me, if you believe that this is our time to show the football world what Nottingham Forest is really about, then smash that like button one more time. Subscribe if you haven't already, because we're going to be covering every single moment of this incredible season, and tell me in the comments which of these signings has got you most excited. The revolution is here, the future is red, and we are Nottingham Forest. Come on you Reds. Let's show them what we're made of. European nights are coming, Premier League giants are worried, and the City Ground is ready to explode. This is our time, this is our moment, and these signings prove that nothing, absolutely nothing, is impossible when you're part of the Nottingham Forest family. See you at Brentford on Sunday, where this incredible journey continues up the Reds.